Morning folks, it's Jay again, and I decided to do a really early video today because as you can see I'm still drinking my coffee and been very I've been very lifted by the news coming out of Suarez and Suarez's camp in the last couple of days. And I know it's been a bit of a saga. We've heard a lot of things sort of to and fro from the clubs. And there's a couple of things I want to mention first, okay? Now, if you haven't seen already, Suarez actually released a statement yesterday in a couple of national newspapers and on Sky Sports to say that he's unhappy at Liverpool Football Club and he wants to leave, okay? That's the first thing. Now, that's a statement of intent, so for buyers like us, it's exactly what we want to hear. You know, there's no ambiguity. He's clearly not happy. I mean, the last couple of games that Liverpool have played, friendlies, you know, he's not really celebrated in the goals. He's not really kind of acknowledged the fans. And this is what Liverpool fans are telling me and the stuff that I'm reading. So, you know, take that however way you want. Clearly not a happy person. He wants to move. He feels that Liverpool have betrayed his trust and are betraying a contract that he signed last summer. That clearly states if Liverpool didn't qualify for Champions League and the club did bid 40 million, he would actually be allowed to leave, okay? And both those conditions have been met by Arsenal Football Club. With that, you could say, you know, they haven't qualified for the Champions League, but the qualifying game is about a week before the window closes, so we could we could complete that transfer in the last week of August, just before the window closes. The second thing I want to say is that from obviously how I felt when we were going through this with Van Persie last summer, is that when a player's made his mind up, that's it. I don't think there's anything Liverpool can do to convince him to stay. He hasn't been convinced by the new signings, the existing signings. I mean, there is news to suggest that Liverpool have bid 21 million for Diego Costa, who's a Brazilian striker that plays for Atletico Madrid. They've also got Borini, they've got Daniel Sturridge, and they've got a couple of other kids that they've signed, strikers. And there isn't really that much. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be rubbish players. I don't really know any of these players. I've never really seen them. But I think Suarez, in the same way that some of our players want kind of established signings in the club, players that are going to come in, and hit the ground running hard. And I think that's the angle that Suarez is coming from. Again, I might be wrong, I don't know, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but we'll see how it goes. The second reason why I think Liverpool have to sell Suarez is that Liverpool finished 7th in the league last season, okay? And they had a hungry and motivated Suarez, and he scored a majority of the goals, and he also chipped in with quite a few assists, okay? So remember, that's a very motivated, hungry, a guy who's got ambition, playing for your team, and you only finished 7th, okay? Now imagine if Suarez stays, he's now unhappy, you can tell that he wants to leave. If he ends up staying at Liverpool, he's doing so against his wishes. That is ultimately going to affect his performance on the pitch. So how do Liverpool think that they're going to compete in the league, first of all, improve upon their 7th position, or get one of those Champions League places, so finish 4th minimum, or compete for domestic trophies if Suarez isn't happy? I mean, he's their best player. He's the main player. You could say they relied on him heavily. The stats don't argue if you were going to make that assumption. And I just don't see how Liverpool are going to compete. So I think they have to sell. They've got no choice. And secondly, I think financial fair play starts I think the beginning of next season. So not the one coming up, not 13-14, but 14-15. So realistically, who's going to pay £40 million for Suarez? A lot of restrictions are going to come in then, so it'll be interesting. I mean, this summer we've seen some huge transfers. We've seen the French clubs. Monaco signed Falcao for 60 million euros. We've seen PSG sign Cavani for something similar. You know, Barcelona have signed Neymar for 70 odd million euros. So, you know, we've seen some huge, you know, signings, especially with strikers and up front. So, a lot of these clubs have done their business. Now, I can't really see a Monaco or a PSG or a Barcelona trying to sign Suarez next summer for a similar price. You know, with all the restrictions coming in, and you know, with the, you know, UEFA cracking down on football finances, I just can't see it. And I believe that's one of the reasons why these clubs, like just the big sort of, you know, the big Arab money clubs like Manchester City, PSG, Monaco, obviously not an Arab money club, but a club that's, you know, obviously wealthy like Barcelona, have done their business now, is because they are anticipating financial fair play and the restrictions coming in next season. That's why I think clubs like Manchester City have signed a lot of players now while they can. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm fairly confident that we are going to sign Suarez. You know, I'm seeing all the right moves. He's said it himself verbally. He's publicly stated he wants to leave. Just cannot see how this is going to end well for Liverpool. They're just going to have to take a hit, get the 40 million, and just, you know, move on. We had experience with Van Persie last year. We got a lot less for him. You know, one of the top 3 strikers in Europe at the time. And you know, we moved on. We signed players, and you just get over it. And it's simple as that. I mean, you know, his signing did impact Manchester United, and they won the league because of him. I don't, you know, I'm not saying that isn't true. You know, I acknowledge that. But when a player doesn't want to play for you, it's time for him to leave. And Liverpool need to let Suarez go. There isn't a player that's bigger than a football club. So let's hope we can all conclude a deal. Anyway, folks, that's all I need to say today. I will see you on a later video. Hopefully, I might make another one today. Actually, I'll see how I go. But I'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise.